Okay, hey guys, so I don't even know what to say. I've been all over this place, but let's just get right down to it. Hey, what's good, Unapologetic gang? So today I got a question that I promised that I would answer from my friend Michael. Michael and I were friends, and we were actually neighbors in here in Puerto Escondido. And so Michael had some really heavy stuff that he's been going through since living in Colombia. Let's listen to what he has to say.
I feel like my issue is that for 2 years I had this dream of coming to Colombia. And now I've been in Colombia since October. I've come here 3 times in that time. I've left, I've come back, I've left, and come back, left, and come back. So total I've been here 6 months. Um, I had this dream for 2 years of coming to Colombia, and now I'm here living in Colombia. It's like I achieved my dream. I got a job. I'm working remotely. It's like I'm earning U.S. dollars and I'm spending pesos. It's like pretty much like I'm successful. I've made it now, and now I just don't know what to do. It's just like I have nothing left to look forward to. So I just work out a lot. I guess that's what I put my energy and my focus on. Is just working out. I've been trying to start some independent projects, but I just kind of don't have any energy left after working out and working my job all day.
Okay, so I'm happy to answer
Oh,
that question.
so all right, let's go ahead and answer this question that Michael asked from Colombia. So I just want to say congratulations, Michael, because to be honest, like we all know that almost like everybody wishes they could be us, living somewhere else, learning new things, eating different foods. But the truth is, there's a lot of ways that we're going to have to dissect this. Okay, so the first is that when we're traveling, we have to understand in general, there's going to be a good bunch of our time, even if we're working on our dream or we're just working. I know in a previous message, you shared that you felt like you had just settled.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I'm definitely just working,
Yeah.
and I feel like I've been settling a lot. Like I've been settling on my apartment that I have instead of getting a better one. I just settle a lot. So yeah, I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. It's 8 to 4 local time, but 9 to 5 Eastern time. And yeah, then I work out, and then I really only really do stuff on the weekends. This weekend, I don't really have any plans yet. I want to try and get out of the city, but it's kind of hard with no car. And you can always pay someone to take it. It's not that expensive, but I don't know. I just feel kind of lazy, and I feel like I've lost my adventurous edge. I've gotten too comfortable. Honestly, one thing I'm considering doing is going back to the United States and living a very normal life. That's what I'm considering. Sometimes it's nice to travel, but it's also nice to have the normalcy and the routine. I like that.
Okay, so there's a few aspects you guys just heard there in this question. So the first for Michael is that he's working a lot, and so he's earning a lot and he's spending little, and that's essentially a dream. However, a majority of his time is kind of caught up in a bunch of other things. For example, he's exhausted by the time he finishes work. So I want to speak to that because I have too have worked a job that I wasn't necessarily happy in, but it was providing for me. I wrote a book about this in something to show for it. I actually ended up having to sue the company in federal court, which is what led to me taking the journey with $200 and a one-way ticket in Mexico. So the thing is, when you're not actually happy and the work is draining for you, that is a secondary problem. So the next is that we're going to go through all of these, right? So it feels like maybe you're not very happy, like there's some aspects of your life that's not completely finished, or not, I don't want to say finished, but there's aspects in your life that you feel like you could possibly work on where things wouldn't feel depressing. anytime there's any form of lack of something, it can cause more problems for us. So how would I recommend turning something that you're already doing into a positive? Well, maybe like using your time in the gym, which helps you relieve stress, as a hobby. You can use this as a different form of setting a goal outside of that, because you've shared you have a lot of independent projects. But if what you're doing is draining and a bit depleting and you've left a few times, that doesn't really have to mean that that's necessarily the end of the world. Like, yeah, okay, like maybe you left, but I've left a few times myself and I end up always coming back. So for this, I definitely recommend definitely keeping your wits about yourself. You do like to travel and move around. If the dream for you is to save more money, because let's be honest, let's consider a few things. Your work life is practically your whole day, so it sounds like time is really important to you. So if this is so, and you're saving a lot of money, maybe it might be in your best interest to sit down and really say, okay, if I'm spending only pesos, what can I invest in other things? You're in a place where most people would love to go. There's a CPA that I've been really recommending to a lot of people, and he recommends purchasing property purchasing property where you vacation. So if you're in Colombia and there's tons of people there, that money that you have, it wouldn't feel so stuck if you have other missions to do it. The next thing I would recommend doing is making a list of everything that you ever want to have and feel. So make two different lists, everything you've ever wanted to have and everything that you've ever wanted to feel. And when you do this, it's really going to help you a lot, because just knowing that, okay, maybe you wanted to have a life in Colombia, but it may not look like what you want. Maybe even redefining, I want to live in the best penthouse, or maybe I want to live in a better place, or I want all my friends to be Colombian. I want to have all my friends speak Espanol. I don't want any of them that speak English. I want to have people that support me in a co-working space. I want to feel what it's like, completely throwing myself in the middle of a jungle. I want to feel what it's like to work, or to have a whole week without working. Make a whole list of all the things that you want to feel and the things that you want to have. This will help you. Every time you get into a rut, think of all the things you want to feel and have. Think of all the things you want to feel and have. And you can just keep adding on to this. The next thing I would recommend is making like trajectory goals. So I usually start off, I think a few years ago, I was in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and I was telling everyone what my mentors recommended to me is to have a 10-year plan. Now, I recommended on the 1st of this month that you guys just have 6 months. I'm not asking you guys to make your 10-year plan as well, but for me, 6 months in advance, that means December 31st. When everybody else is preparing because they just threw away their 6 months, you already had that kickstart. You have a mentality of like, you're building something beyond this. So I really applaud you. I commend you, because having a vision to leave is great. To live abroad is great. That sight is amazing. Now, building on and adding on to the vision is going to help you. There's something else that you said. I'm going to replay this one more time so we don't miss anything.
I feel like my issue is that for 2 years I had this dream of coming to Colombia, and now I've been in Colombia since October. I've come here 3 times now in that time. I've left, I've come back, I've left, I've come back, left, I've come back. So in total, I've been here 6 months. So I had this dream for 2 years of coming to Colombia, and now I'm here living in Colombia. It's like I achieved my dream. I got a job. I'm working remotely. It's like I'm earning US dollars and I'm spending pesos.
That's it. That's what I wanted to say. So I want to remind you that the dream is never dead, right? It just means that there's a continuation of other things. So a lot of people have this dream of going to school, and I can't tell you how many graduations have been a little ruined because everyone's crying about them. I can honestly tell you, before I went to law school, and by the way, I dropped out, okay? Like most entrepreneurs, it's not the way to go. But that was just for me. That's in my own personal life. That's an aside. But you guys, like, honestly, anytime that there's a termination of a project, there is a sadness. There must be a grieving period that comes with the end of the project. But then you have to pick something else back up, and then you begin to move forward with the rest of the things that you're doing. So just know that, okay, that dream, that portion of the dream has kind of come to a sleeping halt, but then it's time to pick back up and add on to the dream. You know that it's all right that, you know, you worked really hard for 4 years and graduating, and then now all of a sudden, oh my gosh, what just happened? It's not that what just happened, it's kind of planning, being 10 steps ahead. So one of my favorite friends, he wrote this book, Patrick Bet David, Your Next 15 Moves. Actually, the book he wrote was Your Next 5 Moves, and he has a conference called Valuetainment, which brings me to my next point. If you are always a lifelong learner, which it sounds like you are, you want to do other things, you want to learn about bulking muscle. I mean, honestly, I've been watching your little Instagram posts, and I've been seeing your WhatsApp messages, and you've definitely bulked since the last time I saw you. So adding on to something that's always going to keep you evergreen means that you're just in general a lifelong learner. Personally, you have shared with me that, like, you love to learn French and you speak multiple different languages just by being out on the street, like learning in the fire. So I recommend doing that. Keeping yourself evergreen, always going to conferences, always making sure you're reading new books, always planning your next few moves means that you won't ever have time to be settled. If you're always working on yourself, I mean, you're just busy. You're busy. Like, how do we handle gossipers? How do we handle people that have nothing else better to do? Like, you guys literally look at this. I have just come from a friend's house. I left Chikawa, and oh, there we are. And I was like, okay, I gotta get back. I have to get back to doing what I promised you guys I would do. I have to continue with my channel. I have to continue with my videos. I have to continue uploading. So while I'm really happy to do all these things, it's just still not settling. I'm sitting here in the middle of a cafe of a strip. Look at this. And I just finished eating breakfast, and so I don't really care. I still have stuff to do. So whether people want to judge me or not, that's their issue. That's not my issue. I'm here to help you guys. So, and I also have my own. I have to stick to what it said. I promised myself that I would do. So that's it, Michael. I love you. I hope that this helps you incredibly. And so the first thing, let's recap. Let's make a list of all the things that you plan, that you just want in general in your life. Take 5 minutes for each list and get a brand new notebook so you can keep doing this. One, this helps keep your joie de vie alive. It keeps your joy of life alive. Also, the next thing, stay into things that keep you evergreen. So you're always learning a different conference, learn something new about AI, learn something new about tech. I mean, let's be honest, with this Rona situation going around and anything only being essential, remote, we've learned that our time is our money. So, you know, exchanging your time for a salary is not really maybe what it sounds like you want. The next thing I would consider is maybe looking into what types of finances or lifestyle, what types of businesses allow for you to live a lifestyle where you're not, you're not really getting squeezed for your money. And then the final thing that I recommend is turning all of your hobbies that you're doing now into something that's going to either generate revenue for you or keep you more excited. Because if you're feeling tired, I mean, a huge sign of what we even call it toxic relationships, a huge sign of unfairness, of this is usually, it's usually because it's toxic. You end up being drained, depression, frustration, anxiety. As a person who's living their happiest or best life, yeah, okay, maybe they plan to write a book and like this section is like uncomfortable, but generally speaking, they're not miserable. They may go through a miserable period, a hard time, but generally speaking, they themselves are not miserable. So looking into something that, kind of acknowledging and recognizing the man in the mirror, the inner child is not too happy with that and wants to go out and play, is to go and find some other things that you can look into. Also, I definitely recommend looking into financial means of being able to support yourself so you can live, a more comfortable life. So maybe that means talking to a real estate agent and going to look at different commercial properties. I actually posted a video of that. I mean, just be curious. It doesn't mean that you need to buy right now, but if as you're traveling and as wealth is continuing to transfer into hands in the next few years, you're going to have more currency and ideas than you have ever had in your entire life. So if it's something like you got to get on the AMC squeeze and learn about what that is, I recommend hopping on that. If you need to learn about how cryptocurrency works, or you need to learn about developing an e-course, or creating a business, or purchasing, a building, even if you're renting it as a commercial space, so you could rent out different rooms in the house so your rent is paid and you have food to eat, and maybe you could even turn your job into part-time. There's so many options to actually think about this, but settling is like the first sign that you're starting to like lose passion. So I really want that for all of you guys. I want you guys to hold on to the passion that you have for life. See, even though I'm tired, there's still passion in my eyes. Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle. No. So that's pretty much it. I wish you the best, and I look forward to hearing from you on the next one. You guys, if you have any more questions, do know I'm really happy to answer them in the best way, in totality that I know how. And it's not just one area of life, as you guys have seen from all of these questions. So send me your messages via WhatsApp, or drop them down in the comments below. I will see you on the next video. Okay, bye.